As a foreigner living in the UK, I have learned over the years that the British people like things a certain way. Have you been inadvertently annoying all the British people around you? Hi everyone, it's me. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Alanna and I'm a Canadian, but I have been living in the UK for the last 6 years. And on today's video, I'm gonna share a few secrets with you guys. I have 9 things that foreigners do that annoy the British. If you like this video and you want to watch more videos about what it's truly like to be a foreigner in the UK, please consider subscribing. But without further ado, let's go. Number 1. Hold up, guess what? This video is sponsored by NordVPN. What? I know, ya girls made it. We'll talk more about NordVPN in a hot minute, and I'm gonna give you guys an exclusive deal, but just a little shout out, NordVPN, how cool. Okay, back to the video. One thing that foreigners do that is annoying to the British around them is to constantly talk about how great your home country is compared to the UK. Now, it can be very interesting to compare the two countries. I know when I first moved here and I was working in an office, I had a lot of British people asking me about Canada, about specific things or how things were different, because that stuff is interesting. I find it interesting. I talk a lot about differences here on this channel, but it's something completely different to just be constantly talking about how great your home country is compared to the UK. Now, naturally, every country is different and every country has its own customs and culture, and my opinion is if you are living in that country, you are living within that culture, you need to adapt to that culture. And I would hope the same thing for any British people moving to Canada, moving to my home country. I would expect that you would adapt to a Canadian way of life. It's fun to compare and it's fun to contrast and like, oh, in my country do this and you guys do that. That's fun, totally cool. But it's something completely different to constantly go on how much better your home country is or how you guys do things differently and it just makes more sense and yada, yada, yada. I get it. But all the time, no, that's annoying. Number 2, another way that foreigners can be annoying is if you are just too much. Now down here in Kent, I live in the southeast of England, and typically, stereotypically, Southerners are a bit reserved, like some, personal space, maybe not so loud and exaggerated and, big. And depending on what country you come from, that may just be natural to you. That just may be what the culture is like. But I would suggest if you are too loud and big and just in your face here in the UK, that's probably going to be a bit annoying. Unless you are a northerner. Northerners here in the UK always tell me how they're much more friendly and approachable and just generally nicer than Southerners. That's a separate topic. But either way, if you come to the UK and you are exaggerated and loud and just, big, does that make sense? It's kind of annoying. Just a heads up. I was actually shocked when I went back home to Canada. I had like reverse culture shock because I was so surprised that all of these strangers in Canada were just talking to me. At the store, on the street, at the gym. Canadians are very friendly and very approachable and will happily start up a conversation with a stranger. And I was surprised. I was surprised just how much that happened. So coming to the UK, typically Southerners, at least from my experience, just a bit more reserved. If you're loud and brash and over the top, it can be a bit annoying. Are you afraid of internet baddies trying to steal your personal data? Let's talk about NordVPN. NordVPN is super easy to use with over 5,000 servers in over 60 countries. So whether you want to connect to a nearby server for a better connection or you want something far away for more content, maybe you live abroad like me and you want to connect to a server back home, you can do that with NordVPN. NordVPN also has a really cool feature called threat protection, which neutralizes cyber threats to your devices so you don't need to hide anymore. Make sure to check out nordvpn.com/adventures and apps to get a 2-year plan plus an additional month and an extra gift. exciting. So not only are you getting a really powerful VPN, you're also getting some cybersecurity. What's not to love? It's risk-free with NordVPN's 30-day money-back guarantee, so why not? Thank you so much to NordVPN for sponsoring this video. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you can make use of NordVPN's exclusive Adventures in Apps deal. Let's get back to the video. Number 3, similarly to just being a bit much, being a bit too personal, a way that you may annoy the British, if you're a hugger. Now, back home, I find typically, again, just my experience, Canadians tend to be huggers. It is not unusual to hug someone that you have just met or you don't know, or you're being introduced to somebody. It's not unreasonable to go in for a hug. Now, thinking about doing that here in the UK, I just can't even imagine. So if you come from a country that maybe is quite physical with strangers or acquaintances or coworkers, quite affectionate physically, that might be just a bit surprising and potentially a bit annoying for the poor British person on the receiving end. Number 4, a way that you can annoy the British is by not respecting the queue. Now, I gotta imagine that most cultures respect a queue or respect a line, which is what I would say in Canada, a line, or you're lining up, or you get in line, whatever. Here it tends to be the queue. I gotta believe that most countries respect the queue. However, you may not fully understand just how important it is here to British life and British culture, especially if you may not be aware that there's a queue and maybe you inadvertently cut in front of somebody or jump the queue. Oh my goodness, even if it's by accident, please apologize, get out of the queue, just do something because it is just supremely important to British politeness and basically breaks every unwritten rule here in the UK. So I just have to say, warning, respect the queue, and, God willing, you accidentally jump the queue. When you realize you have done that, please correct it, because just to let you know, everyone behind you is going to be staring daggers into the back of your head, and you may even get tutted at, which is just, I can't even describe what that's like, but it's not good. Number 5, another way you can be annoying to the Brits around you if you don't respect personal space, especially on public transport. So there is a unwritten rule here in the UK when you get on public transport, whether that's a bus or a train, you do not sit beside someone unless you have no other option. As a foreigner, depending on what country you come from, maybe that's not really a thing where you're from, but here in the UK, if you have a fairly open carriage and you just want to get into the closest seat, but somebody is like in that aisle or whatever and you sit beside them, please don't do that. Please don't do that. It's kind of weird and it is annoying. Not to say that British people aren't approachable or aren't friendly or anything. There's just, a level of personal space that should be respected. And if you have no other option and you've got to sit beside someone, then that's acceptable. But if there are other seats available, please take those first. Also, in terms of public transport, please do not talk loudly on public transport. It is so annoying, and nobody may confront you on it because they're trying to be nice and polite, but everybody hates it. Especially, oh my God, especially if you play your music out loud on the train or on the bus or on the tube. It's horrible. Don't ever do that, okay? Just don't do it. Number 6 on our list on ways to annoy the British people is if, as a foreigner, you believe in stereotypes or you are disrespectful about stereotypes. Now, of course, stereotypes come about for a particular reason. There's a reason that they have started, but typically stereotypes can be extremely outdated. They can just be downright not true anymore. They can be disrespectful and just plain rude. Story time, just a quick one. On my YouTube channel, I have a playlist of YouTube shorts, and one of them is called How to Tell When You're in a British Bathroom. I know. And honestly, one of the top comments on that video I must have received literally hundreds of times is along the lines of, how can you tell we're in a British bathroom? There won't be a toothbrush. I'm not joking. I'm being serious. And so the stereotype that the Brits have bad teeth, I'm so sorry you guys were diving into this. I'm just telling you how it is. It's a stereotype. Is it true? No. But it's just in the minds of people online, I guess, that they may believe that it is. So believing in stereotypes while you were in the UK is just downright lazy. It's just lazy. It's pretty rude. From one foreigner to another, move to the UK, or whether you're here for a study or short term or whatever, and just experience life around you. Absorb the things around you, and pretty soon you will find which stereotypes are true, which stereotypes are complete nonsense, and you'll have a much better idea of what British culture is like if you just experience it first. Keep an open mind. Number 7, something that a foreigner can do that is annoying to the Brits around them is if you don't buy around. So typically if you go to the pub, maybe with coworkers or friends or some sort of group, and potentially they will do rounds. So one person pays for everybody's drink in the round, and then the next person buys everyone's drink in the round. And it is really just rude if you are in that circle and you are receiving drinks in the round, but you then don't buy everybody a drink. So it's not the end of the world. If you don't want to be part of that little drinking system, just say at the beginning, hey guys, don't worry about me. I'm just gonna buy one drink. And at least then they know not to buy you a drink in the round if you're not then going to be part of it, if that makes sense. All I'm saying is if you become part of the round, buy everybody's drink, because everybody hates buying that one person a drink in the round and they don't reciprocate. It's just rude. Number 8, on how to be annoying, get in the way. Now, this is absolutely no fault of their own, and I have been this person before, but there's something very annoying when a foreigner, potentially a tourist, is here in the UK and you're looking up, you're looking at the beautiful buildings and the scenery and the architecture, and all of a sudden you just stop in the middle of the sidewalk to take a picture. And maybe you don't think about the fact that there are British people around you trying to get someplace. Now, this is particularly true for London, as you can imagine. Lots of tourists, lots of foreigners and expats trying out life in London. But there is something that just enrages me when I'm trying to get to my train, or I'm trying to get to an event or something, and there's a person walking along slowly, obviously, because they're looking up, but then all of a sudden they just stop in the middle of the sidewalk. Please don't do that. By all means, take photos. I love doing that. There's so much to see here in the UK, of course. Take photos, but please stand off to the side. To just stop in the middle of the sidewalk is so disrespectful to all the people around you trying to get somewhere. It may also be that you just don't know where you're going yet. And guess what? I've been there. I can't tell you how many times I've gotten lost. It's been a lot. But again, please stand off to the side. Get out of the way. Figure out where you're going. Look at your map. Look at your phone. Whatever. Take pictures. Just get out of the way. Please and thank you. Number 9 on how foreigners may be annoying the Brits around them is if you assume London, or even England, represents the entire UK. The United Kingdom is incredibly diverse. There are so many towns and villages and cities and dialects and customs and culture and accents. They are wildly different, and it's one of the things that makes the UK so great. So as a foreigner, it does a huge disservice to assume that London is the UK or even England is the UK, because it's just simply not true. But as a foreigner, you may not fully understand that, which is okay. That's what I'm telling you right now. It's kind of like thinking that New York City represents the United States. New York City is its own beast. It's a wonderful place. You should visit it if you can. Truly wonderful, but it in no way represents the rest of the United States. Just like London. London is a beast of its own. It's vibrant and it's big and loud and incredible and truly wonderful. I love it. But it does not represent the rest of even England, let alone the UK. Now, thankfully, the Brits, for the most part, we are generalizing, for the most part, the Brits are very kind and welcoming, and they will understand if you do something that maybe goes against British culture or the norms here. They'll understand, you know, you're a foreigner, you just don't know yet. And thankfully, they are just quite understanding. But of course, it is really helpful to assimilate to the country that you are living in, studying in, relocating in, whatever. It's just helpful to adapt to the local culture. And unfortunately, a lot of that stuff you only find out after you've been here long enough. So hopefully these sort of 9 faux pas help you here in the UK. So those are 9 things that foreigners can do that will annoy Brits around them. I hope you guys liked this video. Thank you so much for your support here on Adventures in Naps. If you'd like to watch more, please check out my channel. I've got hundreds of videos, hundreds of videos about my life in the UK, if that interests you. But as always, thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, bye!